My name is Ken Poon. I attended GK 04 and I've worked at several firms in Hong Kong in investment banking, starting with Citibank, UBS, Jardine Fleming, Merrill Lynch, and then back to Citigroup, where I led the capital markets originations team in charge of most financing activity across Asia-Pacific countries, including equity capital markets, debt capital markets, and leveraged finance. In 2017, I started my own boutique investment bank, which is what I'm doing now, and it's called XCap, and we focus on mid-market transactions in M&A and capital raising and strategic transactions. I've worked on very large IPOs and transactions, many billions of dollars of fundraising. Not all companies should be public. Some companies can certainly benefit from being public, but there are a lot of companies that should just stay private. There are very many factors affect the decision. Some companies are better off not being under the public scrutiny on a quarter-by-quarter basis, having very much public pressure to report and perform. Some companies can perform better just as a private company in a low-profile manner. And then there are some companies that are profitable companies, good companies, but they won't scale. They won't grow or continue growing because of the business they're in or the market they're in. If you're in a company that won't scale and won't grow on a continuous basis, you won't attract investors in the public market. I think it's important for founders to look at their business that they're in and not just to be focused on being famous or being part of a listed company because that doesn't always work out. One of the things that has guided me in my whole career is focusing on the long term. I find that if you're always looking at things in the long run and focusing on a long-term ambition, you do better and you make different decisions. And that tends to lead to a better decision. I think the companies that I've worked with that are the most impressive, most successful, and the most sustainable really have a different culture. I would put culture above all. The culture doesn't just exist in the company. It comes from the leadership. It comes from the talent, and it comes from the people. So the companies with the best leaders, talent, and people typically have the best culture, and then they end up being the most competitive, and they end up being much more tactical and much more strategic, and they tend to do long-term planning. So those are the companies that I've worked with that tend to succeed over the long term. I always believe in, as a leader, is authenticity. It's important for people to respect what others can bring to the table. It's important for people to have the ability to get the best out of the people around them. And sometimes it's not about standing out in your team. Sometimes it's about making your team stand out in the process. I've done a lot of business in Asia and globally and in China, but I think I picked up a lot more deeper perspective on China by being a part of this program. I think both Beijing University and Kellogg has faculty members and teachers and professors that are at the top of their game and have very, very deep knowledge and unique perspective. And I was able to learn a lot from them, not only in class, but outside of class, just by talking to them. And I think that was very invaluable to me.